Hello my friends, welcome to a new video. Not that long ago I reviewed the multifunction stocks of MOZA, and this time I can review the MOZA TSW, the trucking steering wheel. Let's go! The TSW is a round steering wheel that measures 40 cm in diameter with a weight of roughly 2.5 kilograms. It features an aluminium frame with 4 spokes. The frame itself is covered with perforated microfiber leather for the grips and a nice smooth leather for the top and bottom of the frame. The entire steering wheel is finished with a black soft and thin thread for stitching. On the back there is the MOZA quick release and an RJ port to connect the steering wheel to MOZA hub. Note that there are no shifting pads on the steering wheel. The center part is made out of a hard, high quality plastic with some rough texture to it. The design has been kept very sober with a few tasteful silver highlights. It has 14 push buttons, 2 scroll encoders and 2 omnidirectional joysticks that function as a D-pad. The push buttons are illuminated and at the top of the center part there is a high quality LED strip. For the build quality there is simply nothing to say about it. The microfiber upholstery of the steering wheel feels very nice to the touch, really slides well through your hands when you drive with it. All the buttons, they feel sturdy, the illumination that you have here, the beautiful rev counter also that they have, so really well done of MOZA for the build quality of the steering wheel. If I would have to give one remark, it would be that the buttons, perhaps a bit more soft touch buttons that have a lighter click to it when you press them, but still the buttons that they use here, they feel also very nice. The scroll buttons scroll heavily and you can feel clearly when it changes position. The same goes for the buttons. The joystick feel very light and perhaps even too light. If there is a point where there is some fragility noticeable on the controls, it would be that joystick. That being said, it performed well and I noticed no issues with it whatsoever. MOZA also included some stickers to go with the TSW to make it look a bit nicer, but to also add some extra icons apart from those that are already printed on the steering wheel itself. It's a very nice touch and I really think that it helps also customize your steering wheel a bit. I cannot emphasize enough how important customizing your steering wheel or setup in general is for me. The fact that MOZA delivers these stickers with it is a large asset to the product. Sure, sticking stickers on the illuminated buttons might not be ideal, but hey, you have the ability to do so. Apart from the stickers for the button, there is also the possibility to add some racing stripes. So the price comes in at 250 to 270 euro, depending on where you order it from. Availability is from the MOZA webshop itself or via one of their dealers. Since there are no other steering wheels out there in this configuration, it's really hard to compare prices. I find the price expensive, but I have this for a lot of hardware out there. If compared with other steering wheels, the price is in line with the pricing of the competition. The firmware of the steering wheel can be updated via the MOZA Pithouse software. Apart from that, it also allows you to adapt the lighting of the rev bar and the buttons. Configuration and binding of the buttons happens in the game itself. So if you saw my video about the multifunction stocks, you know that I had some reservations about the steering wheel being this big. 40 centimeter. It's still smaller than the one that you have in a real truck, but it is noticeably bigger than any steering wheel that MOZA or the competition has brought out so far. So 40 centimeters, it's 3 centimeters bigger than the steering wheel that I have in my normal car. But I have to say that after you drive a bit with it, that you really get used to it and that it just doesn't really matter all that much. Of course, if I would have to give a remark for the steering wheel size, I would recommend MOZA also to bring out just a bit of a smaller steering wheel so that you can use it in normal cars also. I have enough room on my rig to place this steering wheel. I can tilt it enough, but I can imagine that for some people a smaller steering wheel, be it like 33 centimeter, 35 centimeter, would be sufficient and would be more comfortable to drive around with than this big one. Of course, the TSW truck simulator wheel is designed for operating large vehicles like lorries or farm equipment, so the fact that it has such a large diameter is certainly not a criticism. I even found that after driving with it for some time, I really got used to it, and even driving normal cars in BeamNG was possible without an issue. And of course, when you actually use it for what it is intended, being a large lorry, it is absolutely ultra immersive to drive with it. If I look at the ergonomics of the steering wheel, I really like that part too. You have the bottom here where you can just put your hands on and drive like this when you have long straight roads, or you can just put your hands here on the center where the buttons are and just drive like this. There is no issue. You won't hit the joysticks by accident because they are really well tucked into the frame, so you won't hit them with the palm of your hands when you grab the steering wheel like this. So yeah, it's just very, very nicely done. When it comes to compatibility for other wheelbases, yeah, there is the possibility to use the optional MOZA universal hub. This converts the MOZA quick release system to a 50 or 70 mm attachment for a steering wheel to another quick release. The TSW then can be plugged into this hub to have all the functionality of the buttons in the games on your PC. Now, I don't have this universal hub to review, so it's hard to comment on how good it works and how handy it really is to use. But since the competition is stuck in their racing pedigree and don't acknowledge other sub-communities, it's a nice option to have. They sell the TSW steering wheel in a package with the R5, but I would rather recommend, because of the large diameter and the 2 kg weight of it, that you just use an R9 to pair with this steering wheel. It's just that if you will have a bit of an overhead of force feedback with it then, and it will just be more suited than using it with an R5. To be perfectly clear, it will work with an R5 also. Recommending an R9 is simply based on the experience I have in reviewing hardware. Other people may have another opinion on this topic. A remark for the design that also my daughter gave to me was, why don't they put like the horn in the center part? You have like a push button in the center that operates the horn. I do think it is a very good remark of her, and I have to agree, it would be nice to have the horn here in the center. As a conclusion, I want to say that this trucker wheel is really an innovation. MOZA, I said it before, they are really good in their ecosystem, just not to just provide solutions for sim races, but also for sim drivers. And this is really a very nice piece of hardware. So do I have any criticism at all? Yeah, not really. I know it sounds very sponsored, which this is since MOZA provided me this steering wheel for review, but I really love this steering wheel. It looks right, it feels right, and it drives right. Granted, since there is no competition out there, it is hard to compare it to others, but from what I really like in a plain steering wheel, this does tick all the boxes. As I said, I only have a few suggestions, of which the most important one would be a different size. Other than that, it is close to perfection. I sincerely hope that the success of it opens the eyes of the competition to cater some hardware to an often overseen group of sim drivers out there. Thank you all for watching. If you buy new hardware, please buy via an affiliate link. It gives a tip to this channel. I hope you had something from this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I will see you all next video. Bye bye.